You're listening to Intelligent Medicine, a resource to help you take control of your health. We offer a balanced, objective analysis of all your health, wellness, and aging options, both conventional and alternative. Now you can take your engagement to the next level by joining FullScript. FullScript is my online dispensing platform that only offers curated, professional-grade supplement brands that I know and trust. Never counterfeit or expired, always stored and shipped correctly. Just go to drhoffmanstore.com for more information and to start your free FullScript account. Buying through FullScript offers fast, free shipping, optional refill reminders, a mobile-friendly site. It's safe, secure, and HIPAA compliant and offers world-class support. Just go to drhoffmanstore.com. You'll get access to the supplements and features you need to help you achieve your wellness goals, including my custom targeted protocols that combine the products I recommend to address specific needs, heart health, immune support, and much more. It's all at drhoffmanstore.com. drhoffmanstore.com.
Welcome to Leyla Muedin. I'm your host, Leyla Muedin. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist here in New York City. If you'd like to make an appointment with me, call the number 212-779-1744. If you don't already subscribe to the Intelligent Medicine newsletter, you should. It's free. Go to drhoffman.com and click subscribe. You may unsubscribe at any time. And if you'd like to send questions, topics of interest, anything you'd like to hear me weigh in on where it concerns nutrition, health, wellness, that email is questions@drhoffman.net. That is questions@drhoffman.net. So there is a growing focus on holistic approaches to health, to recovery, because we know that the standard of care basically is sick care more than anything. You would know more about this. I wrote recently in the Intelligent Medicine newsletter, health or disease, you choose. You have more control than you think. However, a truly holistic approach, did I say that right? You have more control than you think is what I meant to say. And it's so because you control your lifestyle, you control what you're eating, how you're moving, how you're feeling for the most part, right? And that has everything to do with your health and successful outcomes when undergoing treatment or any kind of treatment or anything like that. However, there is a growing focus on holistic approach and recovery. And a truly holistic approach requires clinical grounding because we need to identify what is actually happening beneath the surface. Then integrate wellness practices on top of that foundation in response to what is revealed, rather than in place of it. Health and recovery used to be treated as narrow, technical problems. You would have a symptom, you would be prescribed a treatment, but the rest of you was largely ignored. That model is giving way to something more complete. For example, people recovering from addiction, people recovering from chronic illness, long stretches of mental health difficulty, burnout. They're asking for care that addresses the whole picture rather than isolated pieces of it. So you show up at the doctor's office or your practitioner's office with a symptom and you get a prescription for treating that symptom, but we need to look underneath. That's the point of this. Sleep, nutrition, movement, relationships, purpose, and spiritual life, these are no longer treated as side concerns. They are recognized as central to whether recovery actually holds. So let's examine why this shift is happening and what a genuinely holistic approach to health and recovery looks like in practice. And by the way, this is an article from Alternative Medicine, from worldhealth.net. And here is where self-guided holistic effort falls short. The appeal of holistic recovery often leads people to assemble their own program, whether you're getting it from books, from listening to podcasts, even podcasts like this one, supplements, weekend workshops. All the intentions are good. And some of the practices are valuable on their own, absolutely. The trouble is that piecing things together this way leaves significant gaps. As many of you who I've known over the years, who are my clients over the years, have found out, you've gotten answers to some things but not others, or having trouble deciphering, interpreting, putting it all together, and finding out other things that you didn't know. That's when you're seeking the help of a practitioner, a doctor, a nutritionist, etc. So the trouble is that piecing things together on your own this way can leave gaps. Underlying medical issues remain unaddressed. Mental health conditions, they go undiagnosed. Substance use disorders, they deepen quietly underneath the wellness routines. And the person ends up frustrated when the effort fails to produce the stability, the successful outcome that was promised. A truly holistic approach requires clinical grounding to identify what's actually happening beneath the surface, and then integrates wellness practices on top of that foundation rather than in place of it. And to explore what that integrated model looks like in practice, and, this is where we really have to go. There is an integrated model. That's what this is all about. You want to get detailed information on programs that combine evidence-based clinical treatment, holistic therapeutic services. It may be that you have very pesky symptoms here and there, or things that you think are not even related. But remember, the holistic is also treating the whole body, spelled W-H-O-L-E, the whole body. So what are the limits of the symptom-only model? For decades, the dominant approach to health treated each symptom as a separate puzzle. A patient with anxiety received medication. A patient with back pain received imaging. And a patient with high blood pressure received a prescription. Each intervention had merit, but treating symptoms in isolation often misses the relationships between them. This is critical right here. This is the sauce, what we're talking about here. Looking at all these things in isolation, back pain, anxiety, high blood pressure, and while each intervention is helpful, but because these particular symptoms are treated in isolation, what is missed is the relationships between them. And that is the whole body is what we're talking about treating. Chronic stress contributes to back pain. Poor sleep worsens anxiety. Unprocessed grief shows up in the body as fatigue and digestive trouble. People started noticing that fixing one piece while ignoring the rest produced limited and temporary results. So what does a holistic approach actually include? The word holistic has been overused to the point of losing meaning. In genuine practice, it refers to care that recognizing the connections between physical health, mental health, emotional patterns, relationships, environment, and sense of purpose. A holistic approach does not reject medical treatment. No. It places medical treatment inside a wider frame that also attends to nutrition, to movement, to sleep quality, to stress patterns, to social connection and spiritual life. Each element supports the others, and weakness in one area tends to drag down progress in the rest. The goal is integration rather than choosing one philosophy over another. We can use all of them and take care. It is holistic, holistic, and treating the whole person, WHOLE, person. And mental and physical health, they cannot be separated. Your head, your brain, your mind is part of your body. Research over the past 2 decades has steadily confirmed what many people already sense. The mind and body operate as a single system. Chronic inflammation affects mood. Gut health influences anxiety. Trauma stored in the body shapes how a person responds to stress decades after the original event. Trauma is very much focused on these days, medical conference, health conferences that I go to. There's a lot of focus on trauma. And there's a lot of trauma to be uncovered. It doesn't mean that you're a military veteran. It could mean trauma in your life, in your recent past or long ago past or childhood trauma. All of us, to some degree, has experienced some amount of trauma, right? And it's important to look at because trauma stored in the body shapes how a person responds to stress decades after the original event. That trauma has not been resolved and therefore is stored in the body. Recovery programs that treat mental health and physical health as separate departments tend to produce slower and less durable results than those that recognize the connection. Agree. Few elements of a holistic approach pay off as quickly or as broadly as regular movement. Walking, swimming, yoga, strength training, and gentle stretching all produce measurable improvements in mood, sleep, energy, and cognitive function. The specific form matters less than the consistency. People recovering from major challenges often find that adding even modest daily movement creates a baseline of stability that other interventions can build on. Movement also reconnects the person with their own body. This is important. So movement, think about this, it's helping you to reconnect with your body, which is particularly important for those whose recovery involves trauma, addiction, or long periods of physical neglect. Food is one of the most contested areas of holistic health, with competing camps insisting their approach is the only valid one. So, listen, everybody has a unique biochemistry, Therefore, there is no such thing as one diet fits all. The diet, the nutrition program, the therapeutic diet, the medical nutrition therapy has to be in response to your particular biochemistry. What's revealed in your labs? What is your constellation of symptoms? What are your concerns and complaints? What else is going on? All of that is taken into account. So all these competing camps insisting their approach is the only valid one, not the way to go, obviously, but a more useful view focuses on the basics that nearly everyone can agree on, like regular meals, adequate protein, sufficient water, limited processed food, a variety of vegetables, low in glycemic is preferable. All of these provide a foundation that supports nearly every other recovery effort. The specifics can be adjusted to individual needs, as well as cultural preferences and medical realities. Absolutely. The point is not to follow a strict ideology, but to give the body what it needs to repair and function well. And this is the importance of getting the baseline labs, testing for deficiencies, because this informs us on what we need to give your body what it needs to repair and to start functioning well again. And once that foundation is in place, more specific dietary refinements can be considered. Listen, in medical nutrition therapy, the therapeutic diet is a prescription given by the nutritionist, aka me, right? For a specific period of time, until that medical condition is resolved or resolving or in remission or any of that, all of the above. And then changes are made. The diet itself is modified. The therapeutic diet is modified to see what is tolerated and what can be brought back. And we're talking, a variety, whether it's heart disease, metabolic abnormalities like metabolic syndrome, prediabetes, diabetes, autoimmune diseases, skin conditions, maybe as well, cancer, migraine, change of fertility status, infertility. Oh my goodness, that's a big one. All of that, premenstrual syndrome, lots of things. A holistic approach gives serious attention to the nervous system, which governs how the body responds to stress and how well it recovers between challenges. Chronic activation of the stress response damages nearly every system in the body over time, while regular practices that calm the nervous system protect long-term health. Adequate sleep, breathing exercises, time in nature, prayer or meditation, and meaningful social connections all help the nervous system return to a settled state. People who learn to regulate this system tend to recover faster from setbacks and handle ongoing difficulties with greater steadiness. Loneliness is now recognized as a serious health risk on par with smoking or obesity. A holistic approach treats human connection as a foundational element of recovery rather than a pleasant extra. Regular contact with family, close relationships, participation in a community of faith, involvement in support groups, or shared interest groups all contribute to long-term wellness. The quality of these connections matters more than the quantity. A few honest relationships outperform a wide circle of superficial ones every time. The final element that holistic care takes seriously is meaning. People who feel their life serves some purpose beyond their own comfort, they tend to recover faster. They stay healthier longer and weather setbacks with more resilience. Purpose looks different for each person. It might come through work. It might come through family. Maybe it comes through creative expression, faith, service to others, or some combination of these. The growing focus on holistic approaches recognize that asking what gives a life meaning, this is not a soft question. It's a clinically relevant one. You think of, what is your why and all of that? What makes you get up in the morning? What is the thing that moves you, right? Maybe it is your career. Maybe it's an extracurricular, something that you love to do, something else you love to do outside of work, right? You need to find all of that out. You're taking part in community activities, things that you're interested in, things that you are vested in. That's all part of it. This is all about holistic health, all of it. I want to thank you for joining me on another edition of Leyla Muedin. This is Intelligent Medicine.
I want to thank you for listening to the Intelligent Medicine Podcast. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or your favorite podcast app, and get new episodes automatically downloaded every weekday. And please give us a rating and review. It truly helps new people discover intelligent medicine. The Intelligent Medicine Podcast is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute the practice of medicine, nursing, or other professional healthcare services, including the giving of medical advice, and no doctor-patient relationship is formed. The use of information on this podcast or materials linked from this podcast is at the user's own risk. The content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice for any medical condition they may have and should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions. Finally, please visit drhoffman.com and discover everything Intelligent Medicine has to offer, including frequently updated, unbiased health news and fully vetted product and supplement recommendations.
This is Leyla Muedin, registered dietitian nutritionist. I maintain a private practice and see patients regularly. If you require a nutrition consult with me but live out of town, there's no need to travel to New York City. I have telephone and telehealth consultations with clients from all over the country. Please visit drhoffman.com for more information. And to set up an appointment, call 212-779-1744. That's 212-779-1744. I look forward to being a collaborator in your healthcare.